Sorry, the rest of my video cut out there, but this is the end of what I was talking about in the Kingdom of Gallon video. You can use this as a tool to help you figure out how many of the smaller units are in the bigger units. So I was talking about pints. If I want to know how many pints are in 1 gallon, all I have to do is count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 pints in 1 gallon. And you can do the same thing with cups. There's 2 cups here, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 cups in 1 gallon. If you want to know how many cups are in a quart, same thing. 2, 4. 4 cups in 1 quart. So you can use this as a tool to help you count how many of the smaller units are in the bigger units. Okay? All right, let's get back to what we were talking about before. We left off on, let me find my mouse here. There we go. So we left off on these conversions here, and this information is the same as what the Kingdom of Gallon gives you. Okay? So we're going to talk now about how we convert between them, how we do the math part of things. And to do that, we have to know which unit is bigger and which unit is smaller. Whoops. So this goes back to the same thing that we talked about when we talked about length. When we're converting between 2 units, I have to know, are we going big to small or are we going small to big? Same idea. We're going to be repeating that. So let's just have a couple scenarios here. First scenario, when converting from big to small. If you don't remember, go back in your notes from last video from 10.1 and see what we did. Do we multiply or do we divide when we go from big to small? Remember, we're trying to have a lot of littles making one big. So that means we're going to be multiplying the big number by the smaller numbers, or the smaller unit, sorry. This will go here. There we go. Oh my goodness, now it's doing everything. Holy cow. By the smaller unit base number. Okay, for example, if I want to know how many pints are in 2 quarts, so I have 2 quarts, and I want to know how many pints that is. First, I have to know which of these units is bigger. Are quarts bigger than pints, or are pints bigger than quarts? And if we go back to our Kingdom of Gallon, we know that quarts are bigger, so we're going big to small, which means we're going to be multiplying by the smaller unit's base number. So let's go back here. Here's our conversions. I need one for pints and quarts. So it looks like we'll be using this one right here. 1 quart equals 2 pints. Pints is the smaller unit, so we're going to be using 2 as our number. So we'll times 2 quarts by 2, which means 2 times 2 will give us 4 pints. Okay, same thing that we did when converting between units of length. And now let's look at the opposite. To convert from small to big. Remember, lots of littles makes one big. So if we're starting with the little one, we need fewer big ones than what we start with. So instead of making our number bigger, we want to make it smaller. Which operation is opposite from multiplication that would do that for us? Division! So let's do a little dividing here by the smaller unit's base number. Here's an example. If I have 24 fluid ounces, and I want to know how many cups that is, I know fluid ounces is the smallest unit of capacity, so nothing smaller than that. If I start with fluid ounces, that means automatically I'm going to be dividing because the next unit up is going to be bigger. So we need a smaller number here because lots of littles makes one big. Okay, let's go back and find our numbers here. Okay, here's our numbers. We need one for fluid ounces and cups. So it looks like this one up here is our one. There's 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. Fluid ounces is the smaller unit, so we'll be using 8. There we go. So we'll be dividing by 8. 24 divided by 8 is 3. So 24 fluid ounces is the same as 3 cups, which is pretty cool. So it's the same thing that we did in the last video. When you convert from small to big, you divide. When you convert from big to small, you multiply. Okay? Now with capacity, and I don't know why this is, maybe just because there's so many different kinds of units between them. There's 6 for capacity. But sometimes you'll have multi-step conversions. So this is a big idea to remember. Some are multi-step, which means you'll need more than one conversion. So let's do an example of that. Let's look at 8 cups and how many quarts that is. Okay, let's go back a couple of pages here to our conversion tables. If I look at these right here, I notice that there is not a single conversion between cups and quarts. I can go between cups and pints, and I can go between pints and quarts, but nothing matches between cups and quarts. So that means this is going to be a 2-step problem. I need to remember the numbers for the smaller units. So cups, the smallest unit is 2, and then between this one, the smaller unit is pints, and that's also 2. When you have a double-step conversion, you have to find which unit is the bridge between them. So between this and this, which unit is the same between them? If you take a look at those. I see this right here. Pints. So pints is going to be our bridge between this conversion, okay? Get back to where we were. Okay, so if I'm trying to kind of step over here and I need to find a bridge, then underneath I'm just going to start filling out those bridge pieces. I know that I can put 8 cups into pints, not quarts. PT. See, I told you you'd have to keep those straight. So I know that I can do cups into pints. First of all, who's the smaller one? Cups. We're going small to big. Whenever we do that, lots of smalls will make fewer bigs. So that means I need to divide and there are 2 cups in 1 pint. So I'm going to divide by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now I have 4 pints, and I know the conversion between pints and quarts. There's one for that. Pints is the smaller one, so we're going small to big again, which means we'll be dividing. There are 2 pints in 1 quart, so we'll divide by 2 again. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And now we found it. 8 cups is the same as 2 quarts. Okay? And actually, if we look at our kingdom of gallon here, we're looking at 2 quarts. So we're just going to look at these top 2 here. We said that there should be 8 cups inside 2 quarts. So let's go ahead and count and see if we're right. Inside 1 quart, there's 2 cups here and 2 cups here. So that's 4 cups under 1 quart. 2 cups and 2 cups make 4 cups under another quart. 4 cups plus 4 cups is 8 cups. So there are 8 cups in 2 quarts. So we did it right. Awesome. Okay. Now we're going to kind of get into your book a little bit, and we're going to fly through a few examples here because I'm running short on time again in our video. Alrighty. So they're just asking us to do some conversions here like we practiced. They want us to take cups and figure out how many fluid ounces that would be. Between cups and fluid ounces, which is the bigger unit, which is the smaller unit? If you look back at your kingdom of gallon, you'll find that cups is bigger than fluid ounces. Few bigs will make a lot of littles, so we're going to multiply by, look back at your chart, how many fluid ounces make 1 cup? 8, right? So 8. 1 times 8 is 8. 8 fluid ounces is 1 cup. Now they want us to find how much 3 cups would be. So, same thing here. If I know that 8 fluid ounces is 1 cup, I can take 3 times that 8 to give us the total. 3 times 8 is 24. Okay, and something that they'll also have you do is compare, like we did in the last one. Here we just found that we had 24 fluid ounces in 3 cups. So you could also see this written as 3 cups to 26 fluid ounces. This would be the same as this because we just found out 24 fluid ounces is 3 cups. So then we would compare them. 26 fluid ounces is greater than 24 fluid ounces. If it was written like this, we would have to go from one to the other. We'd have to figure out how many cups are in 26 fluid ounces or the other way around, and then we could write it down. So 3 cups is the same as 24 fluid ounces, which means 26 fluid ounces is still greater. Okay, just like we did in the last video. Turn the page. Keep your eye on this table. That's going to come in really handy. It's the same thing you have in your notebook, but it's going to be easier to look back on this page, I think, while you're doing your work. Okay, here we're going from pints, 32 pints to gallons, but if you look at our table here, we don't have a conversion from pints to gallons. We can go pints to quarts and quarts to gallons, so this is a double-step conversion. Okay, blasting through it here. I know that I can do pints to quarts, so 32 pints. If we're going small to big, then we need to divide, and we're dividing by the smaller number. So there's 2 pints in 1 quart, so we'll divide by 2. And I will see you in the next video to finish this up. See you later.